Hello everybody. Today I've got a 323i. I think it's actually a sport pack, 5-speed, but it's a friend of mine's daily driver. It looks like we have a xenon level sender that's not doing so well over here. I'll have to make him aware of that. But anyway, the reason why it's in here today is actually this dripping right here and down there. So let me show you what that's all about. So up above the tank, you can see it's a little bit moist. And what that is, it's the left rear brake line that has perforated. Luckily, it's a pretty short piece, but the shop probably would have charged like $1,000 just to replace it. So today, we're gonna be doing a little loop-de-loop and then also replacing, where is the other one? There it is. That rusty guy right there. I'm gonna go all the way over and terminate it up there as well. So I've got some 1/4 inch or 3/16 I think, copper nickel, and we're gonna go ahead and throw that in there. So luckily copper nickel is really easy to bend and shape by hand. So I have a rough bend in here already. Looks like we will have enough room to get that down into that hose. Noticing he left his bleeder wrench on the caliper. That's pretty nice. We're up and over the subframe right there. And we'll be able to open up these clamp things if we want and replace the actual steel lines, or we can leave them, but routed over and around the tank. But instead of going over the front, I'm just gonna bring it down over here and we're gonna put a union over here. It's actually going to be this line for that brake. So luckily the line looks pretty solid up here, so I'm not too worried about that. So I should be able to flare that and get a union, and then this one should be way easy. All right, I haven't tightened it down, so yes, it's still leaking, I know. But all the way over here, got the flare done. So again, these are rough bends right now. I will pull off the wheel and tire once we're ready to bend that up final. Well, let's go ahead and handle this side next, get an approximate bend done, and get this severed as well. Get that flared, get a union on there, see what we can do. Well, this looked better when they were both over here, but the pipe was really nasty on this line here for the left. So I had to cut it again and form it up there, but once I get everything actually plumbed in where it's supposed to go with the wheels off, we'll bleed the brakes, and then I'll come back and we can do the final bends up here just to make it look a little bit less ghetto. But next up is pulling the wheels off, and we need to form the outers. All right, so I've got this one bent up a little bit better and flared. PP blastered the bejesus out of that bad boy. And over, meow. We are also double bubbled and PP blastered, so fingers crossed. These are pretty crusty. And there we have it. I had to sever the old line and use an extractor to get it out of the soft line, but it actually looks pretty okay now. I'm not heartbroken about how that looks. Next step now is going to be using the 8mm that was left on the caliper on the other side by the owner of the car, and then we're going to fill up the brake fluid reservoir and gravity bleed. And then we'll bleed it for real if it doesn't leak. Oh God. Focus, you fuck. That made it worse. There we go. There's some air. Shocking. Weird. Strange. Well, as far as we can tell, there are no leaks. Everything bled out. But I'll have to have him just keep an eye on everything and make sure. So I do see a lot of dribbling on these fittings, but everything's wet under here. And the old line was just pissing everywhere. So I think all that came down from the old severed line. But I'll dry it off before he goes. But yeah, everything's looking okay. We did run into a few issues, but all things considered, really not that bad. I think that's all she wrote for today. We won't leave the 8mm on the caliper this time. Everything should be hunky-dory. And just like that, it is back down, and it has 4 functioning brakes. All cars have all-wheel brakes. Just remember that.